My dear children, praise be Jesus, born into your hearts this day and always. Praise be He who is the Lord, who is God throughout all ages. Praise be the Paraclete, who is your inspiration and your wisdom, who is your courage and who is your faith. Praise be God the Father, who is all good things, who is love. Dear children, I am pleased to be with you again this day. I thank God for giving me the opportunity to come and to speak to you in this way, to share with you the good news that Jesus is alive today as He has ever been, and that He roams among you, that He is within you, that He shares in your lives, that He is in your hearts. Dear children, Jesus is with you. He is with you on your altars. He is with you in your churches. He is with you in your priests, in your religious, in your brothers and sisters. He is with you, in your parents and spouses, in your friends and children. He is with you. He walks among His people as a good shepherd to lead His sheep. Ever He is with you as consoler, ever as your friend. He comes to heal you, to teach you, to give to you all good things, all that God has designed for you, His children. My dear ones, rejoice always, for Jesus is the greatest gift of the Father. He has been given to you as Redeemer and salvation, that you shall not perish but shall live forever in the glory that God has designed for you, the glory that belongs to Jesus. My dear ones, unite with me in prayer always, that all of my children might come to know Him as Lord. Unite with me in prayer, that the entire world may be illumined by His love, might know His great mercy, and might be truly present with Him always in His churches. So much has been given to you, my children, so many graces poured out upon you. God our Father in heaven has seen the good things in your hearts. He has seen the way that you have changed your hearts and your lives. He has seen you return to prayer, and He has permitted me to come all the longer to you. He continues to let me come, that I might encourage you and guide you in this way, that you might be converted all the more, that you might pray more fervently, that you may be filled with faith that is unshakable. He has seen the love that has grown in your hearts. He has seen you try with all of your heart and all of your soul to return to Him and live life anew in Him. He desires that you continue the journey toward Him. Walk with Him ever closer each day. Be with Him in your Mass, in the tabernacles, visit Him often. In your home, invite Him in your families, make Him head. Dear children, you do not know the gift that you have in Jesus. You do not know the great grace that He is to the world, the grace that the Father pours onto the world for His sacrifice, for the redemption that He has earned for all man. God sends me to you again and again to remind you of this great mystery, to remind you of His love. He will continue to send me so long as you will open your hearts and respond with the fullness of your heart. He will continue to send me so long as the world is in need of His mercy. Dear children, God is marvelous. He does love you so tremendously, so tremendously. He comes to His children, especially now, in a way that is unfathomable. He comes to you to bring you home to Him, to call back the sheep wandering far from the shepherd. He comes to you as the child Jesus, to invite you to befriend Him, to invite you to love Him, to invite you to share in His great mercy and in His joy. Dear children, He reaches out to you as ever, for He is love. He is all goodness. My dear ones, It is my prayer for you that you will continue on this journey of conversion that you have begun. Continue each day to live the cross, for this is what I call you to. This is what Jesus has called you to. I am sent to remind you that you must live the cross each day. May your lives bear the fruits of the cross. May you suffer patiently and with joy. May you endure all things for God. May you live in His joy and in His peace and recognize the great blessings He has poured into your lives. All that you have is of God. He has given to you the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, the shelter over your head, the clothes that you wear. All things, both spiritual and temporal, are given to you of God, for in His mercy He provides for His children. He gives to you so many opportunities in your life to serve Him and to serve one another. He desires for you to learn to love in a way that you do not know. He desires for you to learn to love as He loves, freely, without restraint, without condition. He desires for you to love one another as He has loved each of you. In this way, you are forever joined to Him in His great mystery of love. For God is love, and those who love live in God. Dear children, this day, go forth and make a new commitment to love as God loves. This is the next step in the process of conversion through which I have led you. First, you must pray. Prayer is the very, very first step in conversion, for you cannot be converted to God if you do not know Him. You cannot know Him if you do not speak to Him, if you do not listen to the words that He whispers in your heart. You must love the Mass and your sacraments, love your holy church, and participate often in the great gift of the Mass. You must bear your penances and your sufferings quietly, with patience and love, obedience and humility. You must live with grateful hearts and rejoice in the joys God pours into your hearts. Finally, dear children, you must begin to love one another as God loves. You must truly begin to give completely of yourself, emptying yourself out that God may fill you and work through you. Only in this way will you become a perfect vessel of His will. Only in this way will you share in a union with Him so strong it will be as if in heaven. Dear ones, God desires to give you a piece of heaven upon this earth. He desires for you to begin to share in the glory that is His. You may do this by loving, dear ones, loving as He loves, loving with the fullness of your heart, loving all people as He has loved you. Dear ones, such a simple message this is, and yet how difficult to live. I ask you to never, never stop trying to live in this way. Never fail and fall and refuse to walk again. Rather continue, when you stumble, to get up and to reach toward the cross. For Jesus shall bend down from the cross, offer His arms to you, and walk in your stead. Dear ones, your God calls you to Him. He calls you to be His children. It is for this reason that He will continue to send me to you, so long as He permits, so long as it is His will. My dear ones, heed my words, for they are the words of God. I come as a servant of God to remind you that He loves you and desires you alone. Dear children, be filled with joy on this day, and may Christ, as a child, enter into your heart. Open up your hearts and your eyes, that you might see Him and love Him anew, and welcome Him into your homes. May God bless you always. May He fill you with His Spirit, and may the peace of Christ, especially in this beautiful season when you welcome Him anew in the world, be with you always.